This is how you create a Santee rig for catfishing. First thing you want to have is about a 2 foot, 2.5 foot long piece of monofilament. You want at least 30 pound. If you can get 40 or 50 pound, all the better, because this is what the catfish is going to be really chomping on and putting a lot of pressure on. Now, you want a little barrel swivel. And we're going to put that on with a Palomar knot. You can Google that, you can find that on YouTube. Palomar knot is probably the simplest knot to tie in all fishing, and it is super, super strong. Alright, that one is on, the Palomar knot is on. We'll trim that up later. Next thing you do, put on a little plastic bead. Always a trick to find the holes in these beads. There we go. Slide it on down to the barrel swivel. Then you have your peg float. This is a foam float, has these little caps in the end, and you want to run this through the float. Usually this peg is out, but I think we're going to be able to get this line through the float without that. Oops, one moment. There we go. That goes through here. Take the thin end, go through there. Push the peg in. Next up, one more bead. Remember, the whole point of these beads is to protect your line and the knots that you make in it from any sort of trauma, so that the knots are less likely to break and your rig won't drift away stuck in the mouth of the catfish. Alright, let's see where the hole is in this thing. Sorry about the delay there, folks. This one, the hole is really hard to find. Whoop! There it goes. There it is. Alright. Swivel, bead, float, bead, and then one more swivel. And as you can see, I already have the hook on there, and I'm going to explain why we put a hook on this swivel clip in just a minute. But let's get this tied on also with a Palomar knot. And there you go. That is the rig. The value of this rig, there's at least a couple values of it. First, this float is going to help keep your bait off the bottom, and if it is off the bottom, it's less likely that your hook is going to get snagged on an old branch or a log or a chunk of rock. And by using this clip down here, what it does is enable you to change your hook size depending on the fish size. There are days when you go out with a hook this big, something like 6/0, and it turns out there's only small catfish biting, and this hook is just not going to set in their mouth, so you're going to go down to a 4/0 hook or something else. Or if you happen to be out and there's huge catfish out there and you want to go up to 8/0 or 10/0 circle hooks, you can do it easily. What you do is pop it on there, clip, and you're all ready to go. Now remember, before you get out there with a rig like this, you do of course want to tighten your knots and trim off the line. And that is how you do a Santee rig.